The landscape of the sea sustains life in many forms. None more appealing than the magical dolphin. Welcome to the world of one of the most intelligent and successful creatures on the planet. A marine mammal which can only survive by breathing air. A predator whose sharp conical teeth set it apart from most of its larger whale cousins. Dolphins are also highly complex communicators, seen in many sizes and shapes. Their acute senses make them fearsome hunters. And their acrobatic skills, breathtaking. A magical creature of myth and legend. A curious character of the sea who sometimes seems as interested in us as we are in them. Here, the warm waters of the Red Sea meet the desert mountains of the Arabian Peninsula. The Red Sea plays host to a wealth of marine life. As dolphins inhabit all the oceans of the world, we find them here too. We can come close to perhaps the most easily recognized dolphin species, the bottlenose dolphin. This family group, consisting of a dozen adult females and their calves, inhabit the sea's most northern point, off the coast of Israel. Here we can enter their world and wonder at their lives. A wonder which begins with a miracle of birth. This female is nearing the end of a year-long pregnancy. She stays near the surface using as little energy as possible to get the air she needs. Heavy with a calf weighing over 40 pounds, she can still swim gracefully. But it is time to seek peace for the delivery. She moves to shallower waters where she will be safer from predators. But she does not go alone. A female relative, perhaps a sister, goes with her. The timing is perfect. Tail first, the 3-foot calf begins to make an appearance. This is a vulnerable time. A perfectly formed male dolphin arrives safely. But now he must get to the surface and breathe. His mother swims ahead, providing a slipstream for him, and he takes his first breath. Meanwhile, the family have heard the news. They all come out to greet him. With creased skin and weak fins, the newborn is not yet a strong swimmer. He sticks close to his mother to keep him safe from attack. The bond between mother and calf is very strong. For the first few weeks, the calf will stay near the surface where he can breathe easily. Dolphins breathe through a blowhole. A half-second gulp of air, the hole closes, and an adult can go under for 5 minutes. Once they do, their body is a model of efficiency, transferring 85% more oxygen from the lungs to the system than humans. In the shadow of his mother, our little calf will have many lessons to learn. For the first year of his life, we will follow him, returning to see how he develops. our young guide into the world of the dolphin. Bottlenose dolphins are also found here in the Caribbean, where they share these coastal waters with yet another closely related and equally intelligent species, the beautiful spotted dolphins. This is one of the most studied groups of wild dolphins in the world, and scientists are just beginning to understand the complexities of their lives. Slightly smaller than the bottlenosed, the spotted dolphins tend to live in larger groups. They're not born with spots. They gradually appear until they cover the adult body. Like all dolphins, they have evolved over millions of years from land-based mammals to those who still breathe the air but live in the sea. They all appear to know each other as individuals with whom they communicate. They even seem to use air bubbles as a signal. These patterns of bubbles can be an indication of anger and irritation. Sometimes they even play with the circular patterns. It's all part of how these animals coordinate their lives and convey information. In the Red Sea, our little bottlenose calf is already well integrated into his mother's group. Working as a team helps make them a successful species. Not that the calf is thinking about that. He's just hungry. Like all young mammals, the calf needs mother's milk. But he has no flexible lips to latch onto his mother. Ingeniously, nature has solved the problem. She squirts the milk into his mouth. He just has to learn not to spill it. But the calf is getting enough to eat. The fat content of the milk is 4 times that of humans. As he grows, he learns. He will stay with his mother for up to 6 years, and she will teach him most of what he needs to know. He is also learning to communicate using a range of sounds and postures. Each member of the group has its own individual and unique signature whistle to let others know where they are. Particular whistles can be handed down the generations. Our young calf is learning his whistle from his mother. Something he seems to enjoy. This signature sound will identify him all his life. Dolphins don't have vocal cords in the same way as humans, but they can make more than 30 different sounds. Recognizing and interpreting these sounds is vital to their cooperative lifestyle. It seems these noises build up and become almost a language. Our little calf is learning more about dolphin society every day. But his acrobatics are a long way behind those of a skilled adult. The immensely strong tail of a 500-pound bottlenose dolphin pushes it along at speeds of up to 25 miles an hour. But if there is a champion aquatic acrobat, it's the dusky dolphin. a definite gold medalist. Perhaps it was these leaps from the sea which first began the dolphin's special relationship with man. For centuries, man has recorded dolphins across the globe in cave paintings, frescoes and myths. From the Greeks to the Aborigines, from Polynesians to Native Americans, man's legends often recognize the dolphin as a creature to be treated with respect and wonder. As they leap from the sea, they seem to reach out to our world before returning to their own. Throughout history, many have believed that dolphins seek out human company. Certainly humans seem to seek theirs. On the beach of Monkey Mere in Western Australia, the curiosity seems to be mutual. For 30 years, the dolphins have been coming here to meet the people. The dolphins are wild, but happily come close to accept human contact, especially at feeding times. It's a rare, close encounter, affirming a belief in the special affinity between our two species. In the colorful waters of the Red Sea, our group of bottlenose dolphins are resting. Everyone, that is, apart from our new calf, now a few weeks old. Like all well-fed young mammals the world over, he has boundless energy. Sleeping is the last thing on his mind. Remarkably, his mother is able to sleep and still protect him from predators like sharks. Dolphins are only ever half asleep. A dolphin which fell into the unconscious state of human sleep would forget to breathe and drown. So the dolphin stays near the surface and only shuts down half its brain at a time. One half is asleep, while the other half remembers to breathe and keeps watch. This way, a group can rest and be vigilant at the same time. Our lively young fellow is safe in the care of his family. A family which thrives in warm coastal waters. Some bottlenose dolphins prefer to dwell in the cooler waters offshore. They are a little larger, a fact which may help them to stay warm and dive deeper. There are some 33 species of oceanic dolphin, and it's in these open waters that we meet the spectacular spinners. The spinner, with its distinguishing beak, is smaller than a bottlenose, but packed with bursting energy. Powering into the air, sometimes revolving fully 7 times before plunging down again. Their athletic repertoire includes nose nods, tail slaps, sometimes upside down, head slaps, side slaps, back slaps, various leaps, including salmon leaps, and tail over head leaps. And finally, the spins themselves. Perhaps it's a form of communication, letting other group members know where they are and where they're going. Maybe hitting the water at different angles sends a particular audible message. These spinner dolphins are oceanic commuters. They sleep and rest inshore, but at night they come out to feed. It's the best time. As darkness falls, many of the ocean's deep-water creatures swim up close to the surface. During the day, food like squid dwells too far down for a spinner to catch. But at night, they rise up and into the path of the hunting dolphin. These creatures from the mysterious deep are no match for the Olympic swimmer. If these brilliant hunters linger here in daylight, they could become the hunted. Even an athletic spinner would have trouble getting away from this. Not one, but a group of hammerhead sharks. Sharks which can appear from any direction. They spell danger. In some areas, sharks are credited with the death of a fifth of all young dolphins. Time to head to the shores of Hawaii. The spinners seek a sheltered bay with a narrow entrance. Here, sharks can only attack from one predictable direction. The clear, shallow waters also make shark spotting a lot easier. They are highlighted against the white sand. Robbed of their element of surprise, a shark may even be chased away by a fierce gang of neighborhood dolphins. Our young bottlenose calf is now 3 months old. He is learning the benefits of living in a protective group, but he also has to learn the rules. A boisterous youngster, he is still new to the family ways of acceptable behavior. If he steps out of line, his mother will punish him. She does this by pushing the calf down towards the seabed. She holds him there, emitting a continuous stream of disciplinary clicks. He's a long way from the surface, and the surface means air. The mother is not trying to drown him, just make him uncomfortable enough to get the message. Once he has got his breath back, the punishment is over. Mother and calf unite for the reassurance of a touch and another lesson learned. The young dolphin will have many tests of character ahead. What he will never need is an eye test. His eyesight is already fully developed and extraordinarily sharp. Dolphins not only have the ability to see in very low levels of light, they can even compensate for the way light bends when it hits the water. Bottlenose dolphins spend their time both underwater and in the surface air. Unlike humans, they can see just as well in both. Their eye muscles are so strong, they can change the shape of their lens as required. But sometimes exceptional eyesight is not enough. The water may be murky or stormy or just plain dark. Like all dolphins, our calf has been born with a secret weapon. It's called echolocation, and it's a magical super sense. Echolocation works as the name suggests. The dolphin emits pulses of sound that are reflected back to it from other objects. Even with no visibility, it has a total picture of its surroundings. It's similar to the sonar of submarines, but much more sophisticated. It's so acute that they can detect a fish the size of a golf ball some 200 feet away. It's thought that they can even check the texture of a fish's flesh and decide if it's tasty. An adult dolphin is so skilled at echolocation, it can investigate two different objects at the same time. But it's a skill which has to be learned, and as usual, it's taught by the mother. Cruising along the seabed, the mother is giving her calf an echolocation lesson. She scans the area, clicking as she swims, and he follows, watching, listening, imitating her sounds. Soon, he must hunt for his own food. There is no hiding place for their prey by digging in. Ultrasonic clicks can even penetrate into the sand. But until he's perfected the technique of using his own echolocation, he will have to rely on his mother's ability to find food. And dolphins, like humans, can be determined creatures. It's messy eating, but successful. Not surprisingly, it's called crater feeding because of the marks it leaves on the seabed. The calf is still suckling, but he's developed a taste for solid food, which is bad luck for this flounder. It's brilliantly camouflaged, but no match for a dolphin calf who has learned to use his echolocation to tell the difference between sand and living tissue. Success, and delicious too. But echolocation is not entirely foolproof. These spinner dolphins have spent the day in a safe but narrow lagoon. As night falls, they are heading out to hunt in the open sea. A storm may be stopping them, or it may be just the air bubbles. Out in the ocean, big waves are not a problem for these powerful animals, but they are in a lagoon. The bubbles of trapped air rolling and tumbling through the water are confusing their echolocation. The spinners could easily be dashed against the rocks. There is a theory that their echolocation sounds could be bounced back by the sheer volume of air bubbles. Unable to locate the rocks around the narrow lagoon entrance, the dolphins are trapped and face a hungry night. It is not until late the next day that the storm abates and the spinners are able to return to the open sea to hunt for food. It may well have been a storm at sea which led one particular dolphin to make his home off the west coast of Ireland. He may have been separated from his group by fierce Atlantic weather, but now he chooses to stay here. Fungi has lived alone in Dingle Bay for over 13 years. He's free to seek out other dolphins, but he doesn't. Whatever brought him here, he seems happy to stay and play. Fungi is a wild animal. He weighs nearly a ton, yet he is always careful not to harm his human playmates. There have been other instances of lone dolphins seeking out human company and seeming to enjoy it. Fungi revels in the contact. He brings great joy to the humans who swim with him. Living in complete harmony with his environment, Fungi is a great ambassador for the dolphin species. Dolphins are complex creatures. It seems impossible to make hard and fast rules about their behavior. This spinner dolphin has also lost its family, but has been adopted by bottlenose dolphins. Spinner dolphins depend on their family group. They hunt together in the deep ocean, and one lone spinner would not be able to survive alone. Yet, despite the difference in size, the bottlenose seems to have accepted this lost spinner as part of their group. Its unique behavior never seen before. Another dolphin surprise. For whatever reasons, dolphins seem to need company. They express their gentle pleasure among their own kind through touch. Our growing calf and his mother constantly exchange soothing strokes as they swim. It reaffirms the strong bond between them and the group. Touch is a very important part of dolphin society. Yet another form of communication from these highly intelligent creatures. And one that many humans long to share. Swimming with dolphins often seems to be a magical experience. It has even become a healing method. Researchers are investigating what is known as dolphin-assisted therapy. There is no scientific basis for the claims, but depressed or ill people who swim with the dolphins often report feeling better. One theory is that the ultrasonic sounds produced by the animals contribute to the calming effect swimming with dolphins has on humans. The vibration from the sounds is thought by some to stimulate the release of endorphins or natural painkillers in the brain. There seems to be no real benefit to the dolphins, yet research has shown that they have an uncanny ability to seek out those who are most in need. The value of such an encounter may be all in the minds of humans. But belief seems to be enough to add more wonder to the magic of dolphins. Off the coast of Brazil, the salt waters of the Atlantic meet the fresh waters of the mightiest river in the world, the Amazon. Stretching thousands of miles inland, the great river is home to more species of fish than anywhere else in the world. It's a living pantry for another dolphin species. The Takushi dolphin looks like a bottlenose, but it's much smaller. No more than 6 foot long and equally at home here in the river's freshwater or the salt of the coast. They live in tight social groups and navigate the often murky waters with their echolocation. It's a rich hunting ground which they share with many creatures. In this jungle environment, life changes for all the inhabitants when the rains come. The mighty Amazon bursts its banks and floods the plain. What was once forest floor becomes riverbed, and everyone has to adapt. You might expect to find this creature climbing trees and dozing, but it's the rainy season, and this three-toed sloth has to get into the swim of things. The arowana fish is also taking extraordinary steps to feed. Yet another dolphin species is taking the opportunity to explore. The remarkable pink-colored Amazon River or Boto dolphin. The Boto is a curiosity in the dolphin world. It seems to have adapted entirely to forest life. It has flexible neck joints which allow it to turn its head around sunken branches, scanning from side to side as it swims. Boto are usually seen in small groups feeding on piranha and other fish. Perhaps the conditions are too cramped for large groups. The Boto has tiny but functional eyes, but the waters are often filled with silt. So its sense of echolocation is highly developed. It can successfully negotiate any underwater obstacle course. Like all dolphins, the mother raises the young. This youngster is having a fishing lesson. He wants the juicy fish she's caught, but she's teaching him that soon he will have to use the skill to get his own. Eventually, she shares her catch. In the Red Sea, our young bottlenose calf is also learning hunting technique, but his lesson involves the whole family. Dolphins feed night and day, sometimes alone, but sometimes as a fishing fleet. The family has located a shoal of small fish. To catch them, they work together. Moving in formation, they slap their tails, sending shock waves through the water. This stuns and disorientates the fish. Next, the dolphins split up, attacking from all sides, causing further confusion. The small fish become an easy catch. The youngster hasn't quite got the hang of it, but he's learning the value of cooperation. It's another example of dolphins using their high intelligence to make the most of their speed and strength. Bottlenose dolphins often hunt together, but in some places they have had to adapt their technique. The conditions amongst the warm seawater and the muddy banks of the South Carolina salt marshes call for a different approach. The muddy waters are penetrated by echolocation, and once again it's a group effort. The dolphins chase the fish into the shallows until there is no escape. Not even on the beach. The dolphins get the fish and the birds get the leftovers. No one knows why, but they only ever use their right sides to perform this spectacular maneuver. After a big meal, time for a group celebration. But not all dolphins live in warm waters. There are those who swim in much colder seas. The biggest dolphin of them all doesn't sound like one. Strictly speaking, the orca, or killer whale, is a member of the dolphin family. Orcas are found all over the world, including the polar regions. They exhibit many classic dolphin traits. They live in complex social groups, communicating with a wide range of sounds. Orcas hold a number of dolphin records. They are one of the most vocal, communicating constantly. They can grow to be 32 feet long, weigh 9 tons, and swim up to 34 miles an hour. Everything they do is on a grand scale. This shoal of Alaskan fish is about to be corralled by an orca family. Just like their cousins, the bottlenose dolphins, the orca work together, disorientating their prey and moving in for the kill. The underwater activity attracts aerial scavengers. All the creatures of the freezing north just trying to survive. Nearer the shore, the colonies of seals and sea lions are also on the hunt. But they have to be careful. They are part of the food chain. The orca's diet is not limited to fish. They'll eat just about any animal they can catch. The orcas, the top predators in the seas, circle around their fellow marine mammals. But the seals are shrewd. They dive and duck out of the way, and when things get tense, just climb out of the water. In the cold South Atlantic waters off Patagonia, the orcas and sea lions do battle in rather different conditions. Off a gently sloping beach, the orcas are on patrol. Here, the young sea lions are vulnerable as they venture away from their mothers and play in the surf. The orcas use a high-risk strategy. Get the timing wrong, and one of these 9-ton masters of the sea could find themselves stranded and dying on land. But the rewards are worth it. Four or five young sea lions will feed the orca's appetite for just one day. Now 9 months old, our bottlenose calf is growing into a confident young dolphin. He no longer swims constantly at mother's side, but plays with others in the group. These games are all part of growing up. One day he will learn to defend himself and compete for a mate. But these lessons begin in adolescence. He will be 4 to 8 years old before he reaches the adolescent or juvenile phase of his life. Until then, any aggressive encounters are confined to play fighting. In the Caribbean, this group of spotted dolphins is mainly made up of juvenile males. They are strutting and posing just like any group of human teenagers. Dolphins show anger or annoyance through exaggerated body language. Jaw snapping, rapid clicking, squaring up to another dolphin, all signs of aggressive intent. These mock fights are a good place to learn the rules of fighting and to recognize threats. Like all teenagers, the play can get out of hand, so the older, wiser males appear to keep an eye on things. They may even break up an adolescent fight that has gone too far, although this group seem to have settled their differences amicably. The amount of aggression in a dolphin depends on the species and on the individual. They all have unique personalities. Generally, different species get along together, but occasionally they do not. This group of spotted dolphins have been joined by 4 bottle-nosed males. There is much jostling for position as the larger bottlenoses try to intimidate their smaller cousins. They pick out individuals, chasing them away to split up and unnerve the group. But the spotted dolphins know the answer. Teamwork. They work together to turn the tables on the largest bottlenose. They may be small, but they make a formidable gang. They face up to the aggressor. He threatens them with an arched back and upright stance. But eventually, he is the one chased away. The smaller species, but the larger group, have proved that they are the tough guys this time. Not all dolphin games are about being tough. Both adults and youngsters also seem to play just for the fun of it. It's this ability to divide their time between struggling to survive and just enjoying life which sets them apart from other creatures. It's also a sign of high intelligence. Our young calf is nearly a year old now. He's still an infant in the dolphin world. But in the group he and his mother belong to, there are other, older females who attract the attention of males. From adolescence, males begin to fight over females for the right to mate. Their fighting leaves scars. This is a serious business. The battling takes its toll. While a female may live to be 50, a bottle-nosed male may not make 30. Male dolphins reach maturity between 10 and 13 years old. Around this age, they will all mate successfully. These males have been courting the same female for hours, swimming by her side. She tolerates their attention, but leaves them to battle out their superiority. Females are receptive to males for much of the year and will often mate with many different males. When courtship ends, mating is a swift and gentle affair. Seeking the deepest waters in the ocean is another curiously named dolphin, the pilot whale. Pilot whales travel vast distances in search of food, navigating their way by using the Earth's magnetic field. Research indicates that they have magnetically sensitive crystals in their brain which create a kind of internal compass. But sometimes things go wrong. Pilot whales and these, their strangely named cousins, false killer whales, are often found stranded on shorelines around the world. It's a tragic mystery which draws a powerful emotional response from humans. Out of water, they will rapidly overheat and die. We can only guess at why they strand. Perhaps irregularities in the Earth's magnetic field interferes with their navigational sense. Perhaps the group has followed one sick member on shore. Their tight social bonding causing disaster for them all. The humans are desperate to refloat the huge dolphins and cannot understand when some return to the shore. Perhaps they can only leave when the whole family is safe, and most do. A remarkable example of loyalty from the dolphin and love from the human. It is unlikely such a fate will befall our young bottle-nosed calf. Much has happened since his mother led a helpless infant to his first breath of air. Since he learned to swim, to surface and to dive. Learned to take his mother's milk. And develop his own signature whistle. The first step in communication. Although he will continue to suckle from his mother for just over a year, he's preparing to hunt by developing his powers of echolocation. He is learning how to belong to a complex social group, which will protect and teach him throughout his childhood. Ahead of him are the tough trials of adolescence and competitive adulthood. As he grows, so does his brain. The brain of one of the most intelligent creatures on Earth. As humans come close to these graceful animals, we unravel the mysteries of their world. One thing, our fascination for understanding the magic of